When Carrie brought her ex into the company, I was up on stage explaining a new product marketing plan. She stormed right in with him, walked up to the stage without even glancing at me. "This is Hugo. He'll be the new VP handling everything here." Carrie linked arms with Hugo, introducing him to everyone without any shame. Colleagues stared at me in shock, because Carrie's VP position was mine. They seemed to forget. I was the one who saved Carrie's company from the brink of bankruptcy. "Carrie, you're nothing without me." I was so furious I yanked Carrie over to me. "What do you mean?" Carrie bit her lip, pulled away from my hand, but couldn't meet my eyes. "I think Hugo suits the position better." I almost laughed out of anger. Back when Carrie's family business was near collapse, Hugo ran faster than a scared pup. He even took the last of Carrie's luxury items, then went on Instagram to say to Carrie, "Good thing we didn't get hitched. Otherwise, I'd be stuck with your family's debt." "Good riddance," he said. "Don't bother looking for me. Consider those things as compensation for my lost youth." Hugo blocked Carrie everywhere, and she broke down completely, from a pampered princess to rock bottom. When I found her, she was drowning her sorrows in a bar, surrounded by some nasty dudes. Since college, I had a thing for her. How could I just stand by? I gave up starting my own business, spent the money I saved through years of hard work to help Carrie rebound. Hugo came over, shoved me aside, and wrapped an arm around Carrie's slender waist. There were just some misunderstandings between Carrie and me. "You simply took advantage of the situation. Now that I'm back, you should skedaddle." Looking at his disgusting face, my mind went blank. I grabbed him by the throat and slammed him to the ground. Chaos ensued and people finally pulled us apart. Carrie threw herself on Hugo, checking his injuries with concern. "Hugo, are you hurt?" "Dino, you've gone too far." I touched my swollen lip, slowly stood up. "Me? Gone too far?" "Carrie, ask yourself honestly, how have I treated you these past 3 years? Your family almost went bust. Who helped you hold it together? When Hugo abandoned you, who stood by your side? In your darkest, most helpless moments, who reached out a hand to you? So what? You did all this willingly. I never promised you anything." Hearing her words, I suddenly felt dizzy. During her toughest years, I joined her family business, planning with her day and night, this clueless little princess. I helped her gain respect in the team, stood in for her time and again. We became close through thick and thin. She'd always look at me shyly, with stars in her eyes. 3 years ago, we landed a huge deal, and her family finally shook off bankruptcy. At the celebration, in front of everyone, I raised a glass and bravely confessed my feelings to Carrie. She hesitated, then smiled at me. "Dino, I like you too, but things aren't great for the company right now. Help me out a little longer, and when things are better, we'll..." She shyly dropped her gaze, and I mistook that as a promise. "Don't worry, I've got this," I thought. Back then, she was my everything. I'd do anything for her in a heartbeat. But after all this time, I never even held her hand, only to be tossed aside. Carrie seemed to realize, kicking me out right now wouldn't look good. She wanted me to be Hugo's assistant, help him get up to speed with the business quickly. Since I was the one who poured everything into saving her family, the employees saw me as the real boss. Hugo's sudden appearance shocked not just me. If I could be discarded, what about the rest of them? Everyone was on edge, and they were against Hugo. Assistant Mike asked me sympathetically, "Dino, are you really giving up the VP position? None of us accept that guy." I felt a bitter taste in my mouth. I'm not willing either. No one wanted Hugo, and Carrie could see that. She held a meeting for all departments, but didn't notify me. I really wanted to ask her, what's so great about Hugo, that she'd betray and get all lovesick over him? I still held a 10% stake in Carrie's company. She hadn't forgotten that fact. She arranged a private meeting, looked at me with those eyes I once loved. "Dino, if you can't work with Hugo, it's better you leave the company. But before you go, you have to return the shares. They're mine, Carrie's share." I only lent them to you. Hugo wasn't enough. She wanted me gone too. I looked at her, shocked, like I was meeting her for the first time. Carrie, don't be so greedy. I did it for your sake. Enough, Dino. Enough of the past. Enough, enough, enough. It's just a company stabilization. Do you think you're so amazing? Only Hugo cares if I'm tired or miserable. What about you? You just keep making me work nonstop. I took a deep breath. Did you ever love me? Carrie looked away, feeling guilty. I was just grateful to you. I get it. I laughed at myself. She played with my feelings. Always vague and secretive. Got me willingly working for her. And when everything looked good, she wanted to toss me aside. She didn't even want to give me a penny more. Reaching this point, I truly shouldn't stick around anymore. Maybe I got the feelings with Carrie wrong. But the company's success? That's my hard work. Why should they benefit from it? Carrie and I had an unpleasant split, and I kept pushing forward with my projects. The company I helped build wasn't just Carrie's. Giving up an entire company because of two jerks? Not worth it. I'm gonna make the money. Everything I once invested, I'm taking it back doubled. But I underestimated Carrie's moves. A few days later, client called me, demanded why the promotional product didn't match reality. Mistakes like this never happened on my projects. I was shocked. Once I came to my senses, I started checking the files. I found nothing. My assistant hesitated, then stammered out the truth. Carrie, to boost Hugo's performance and give him authority, handed him the project, along with all the files, even deleted my backups. Dino, they went too far. We tried to stop them. The CEO said whoever blocked them would be fired. I smashed my cup on the floor. The shattered pieces were like my once passionate heart. Regaining my calm, I went to Carrie. Perfect timing. Carrie saw me and quickly tossed Hugo's messed up project at me. This project. Explain it to the client. And reconnect with them. I glanced through it and tossed it back in front of Carrie. I'm not doing it. Find someone else to handle it. Dino, this was originally your project. You've dealt with them before. She raised her eyebrows, seeing my refusal. I snapped. My voice rose. You know it's my project. If it's mine, who gave you the right to mess with it? My heart felt numb. But the anger just wouldn't stop. I yelled at Carrie. You say you love Hugo. Fine, you left me, I can accept that. But now you're trying to use my project to impress him? And now it's screwed up? And the client wants compensation. And you want me to take the blame? Why, Carrie? Why treat me like this? Seeing my outburst, Carrie knew she was in the wrong. Her tone quickly softened. Dino, don't be mad. It's my fault this time. Hugo studied this in college. I thought a bit of practice wouldn't hurt. Didn't expect him to be so inexperienced. Inexperienced? She seemed to forget Hugo is 3 years older than me. Carrie watched my face. Hands clasped, eyes pleading. The company is built from both of our efforts. Our blood and sweat. Even though it's out of bankruptcy risk, this deal is still crucial. If it fails, the company will be shaky again. Dino. She stepped closer, pulled at my sleeve. I promise it won't happen again. You've been handling the project. No one knows it better than you. I took a deep breath, thinking of these 3 years. I gave so much for the company, and abandoning it now because of one simple project screw up. It's like undoing all my hard work. I can't do that. I gritted my teeth, picked up the papers on the desk, not looking back at her. But while I was working with the client, Carrie went and gave my office to Hugo. Under Hugo's influence, she remodeled the storage room next door, packed my things and tossed them in there, claimed it was creating a fresh space for me. When I returned with the newly signed contract, everything was already set. Our hero who saved the project is back. Huh? Hugo smirked, yanked the contract from me. Impressive, getting the client back so fast. He turned and hugged Carrie. Baby, I'm not as skilled as Dino. You won't leave me, right? Carrie giggled. She playfully tweaked Hugo's nose. Of course not. Hugo, you're the best in my eyes. You're different from Dino. He's been in the business for 3 years. An old pro. In the future, let him handle the tough stuff. You won't have to work so hard. She glanced at the contract and nodded. Dino still has some use after all. Now the contract's renegotiated. Hugo, you keep managing it. Don't mess it up this time. Okay. Hugo laughed heartily, lifted Carrie, swinging her around. Baby, I swear. But can't blame me. Huh? That client Nova, sheesh. A 50-something cougar loves young guys. Gave Dino an eye full of desire. Hey Dino, didn't use your charm, did you? This jerk. I stared at them coldly, tightly clenching my fists, staying calm. Hugo probably recalled the pain from my fists. He awkwardly laughed and hid behind Carrie. Just joking, man, don't be mad. Carrie noticed my expression, quickly stepped between us protectively. Dino, it's just a joke. Hugo's just kidding. Why so serious? Besides, Hugo wasn't wrong. That person did show interest in you long ago. Office, give it back to me. My voice was sharp and cold. Carrie flinched, then angrily shouted. Enough, Dino. I'm the company owner. Carrie's my name. You're just an employee. I decide who gets the office. Recognize your place. I stared at Carrie. She stared back defiantly. We silently clashed for a long time. With many people around, it was dead silent. Finally, Carrie looked down, saying guiltily, it's just an office. If Hugo likes it, it's his. Could you stop messing around? I quietly took off my work badge, threw it on the ground, and turned to leave. Hugo's triumphant taunt echoed behind me. Dino, think carefully. Once you walk out of this door today, it'll be tough to come back. If I were you, I'd just apologize to Carrie. After all your hard work for 3 years, we wouldn't treat you badly. I never thought that leaving behind what I was so attached to at this company would make me feel relieved. All those years of hustling for Carrie and the company, what did I really gain? Carrie forgets. The company got back on its feet thanks to me. If she'd make me leave, I could make her experience falling from grace. While lost in thought, my phone rang. Seeing who was calling, I was a bit surprised. Dino, are you free? Want to grab a bite? A voice, calm as a valley, extinguished my burning anger. I'm not so sure, Susan. You know I left Carrie's company. Yeah, just got the news. She hesitated slightly. Our company needs a VP. Want to give it a shot? Susan's company was Carrie's rival, bitter enemies for a while now. When Carrie's company went bankrupt, Susan played a part. I had snagged 2 projects from Susan back then to withstand her pressure. Susan once tried recruiting me to her company with a high salary, but my head was too wrapped in love back then to leave Carrie for money. Now, joining Susan sounds a bit enticing, but would she really trust me? Not worried it could be a setup by me and Carrie? The meeting place was Nova. Susan had invited me. I had to go. It's about relationships. Even if I've left, I still need to network in this business. Whether I join Susan or start something on my own, there's no need to offend the big shots. And even if she hadn't invited me, I'd find a way to meet her. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Susan in a red dress, her skin flawless, eyes and teeth bright and perfect. She had the captivating aura of a mature woman. Carrie's innocent schoolgirl image barely compared to Susan. Susan playfully winked at me, catching me off guard. She had chosen a spot for lunch right across from Carrie's company building. Blatant, with no concern about who might see. It genuinely seems like I've let go of the woman and the company. Susan was taken aback by my nonchalance, her eyes wide with surprise. Your hard work brought the company back, and now she's ditching you. So cold-hearted. It sounded a bit provocative but was true and not hard to accept. If I could save one company, I could definitely start afresh. Susan watched me closely for a long time, making me a tad uneasy. Her tone softened. I want to buy your shares. Name your price. I shook my head and replied seriously. I can't give you the shares. I'm waiting for Carrie to buy them back. Carrie's company I can do without, but the money I must have back. Susan's smile was captivating, making me feel a tad flushed. She suddenly stood, a wave of pleasant scent in the air, and poured me a drink. Leaning close, She teasingly whispered, "Don't move. Watch the show." I paused, following her gaze. Someone was pacing back and forth in the opposite building. Carrie. Flustered. Good. That's the way it should be. I wanted Carrie to give back everything she owed me. During my meal with Susan, I missed more than 30 calls on my phone. Along with hers were other numbers I recognized from the company. I didn't answer nor return any calls. I just turned off my phone, leaving her to stew. That evening, Carrie busted into my apartment. I'd forgotten to change the fingerprint lock. "Dino, who did you meet today?" She started with interrogation. I calmly sipped my coffee, picked up a newspaper, and leisurely read. Carrie got mad when I ignored her and slapped the cup from my hand. "You met Susan, didn't you? Have you been with her all along? No wonder you've been distant. She always looks at you with those eyes. I knew it. You're cheating, pretending to love only me. Susan's just trying to swindle your shares. Those are mine. I watched Carrie wrecking my place without feeling anything. All I thought of was this time last year when I went to negotiate a contract. There was this female CEO, and Carrie insisted on tagging along. While discussing the deal, I missed noticing Carrie beside me. Carrie thought I ignored her for another woman. She went ballistic, overturned the table, and smashed the room with a chair. That deal was over before it even began. But afterward, she cried and apologized. She said she couldn't stand me being focused on other women. I could only have her in my life. But what did she do for me? I then realized I felt more like a dog than a partner. I was expected to revolve around Carrie, make her happy. If she was pleased, I'd get a pat. If not, discarded without a thought. Carrie, out of breath, glared at me. So I brought Hugo into the company. "What's the big deal, huh? I'm tired too. I've done a lot for the company. Why can't you understand me? You're always so busy. No time for me. Hugo's the one comforting me. Why can't you be more like him?" Seeing me silent, Carrie turned soft, speaking gently. "Dino, just don't see Susan anymore? Or come back. I can't handle those new projects without you. Hugo got humiliated a few times too. Only you can seal the deal. At worst, I'll get you an even bigger office. I don't blame you for meeting up with Susan." She sounded like she was the one making big compromises. Haha, she's worried I'd team up with Susan against her, so she turned around to give me some sugar. Too bad for her. I never pick up trash. "Carrie, this is a private residence. You're crossing the line. Leave now, or I'll call the cops." I slowly got up, opened the door. "Oh, and remember to compensate me for what you broke in my place, or I won't mind going a legal route." "You wouldn't dare call the cops." Watching my phone dial out, Carrie screamed, "Dino, how could you? How dare you treat me like this?" Fine. I'm leaving. You think the company can't survive without you? Let me tell you, the world doesn't stop for anyone." She used to say something different. Back then, she looked at me kindly. "Dino, without you, the company would have crumbled. I can't do without Dino. The company is both mine and yours. You're not allowed to marry without my permission. You have to stay with me." Her words were so sweet. I fell for it. But now, this woman can change faces like flipping a switch. I'm just waiting for Carrie to talk shares with me. Thinking she'd take them for nothing is a joke. Before Carrie showed up, Hugo called first. "Dino, Carrie went to your place yesterday, right? You think you've won? I've got news for you. Didn't know a man could whine so much. You probably don't know. But this morning Carrie and I got our marriage certificate. Haha, we are legally married now. Thanks for all those years of hard work for the company. It's all mine now. Does it hurt?" I wanted to tell him. Inside, I'm so calm I could wash my socks. But he'd never believe it. "You think with the shares you have, you can shake the company? Dream on if you want Carrie back." Right on point. So I reached out to Hugo's relatives. His hometown was way out there. No dad, just a single mom who raised him. Hugo's mom has a few brothers and sisters. They live nearby. I had someone drop a hint to Hugo's family, like Hugo married a rich girl and struck it big. He's managing a large company now, needs trusted people around him. Hearing her son needed help, Hugo's mom rounded up the relatives and marched into Carrie's office. An assistant captured the whole scene for me. There's Hugo's mom, head held high, hands on hips, standing in the middle of the office. In front of her, a very pale Hugo. Behind him, an angry Carrie. My son, such a big thing as marriage. And you didn't tell the family? If I hadn't come, would I not have met my daughter-in-law? I know she's rich, but I'm the elder here. Can she really disrespect me, her mother-in-law? People marry into families and get served tea. I didn't even get that. Almost kicked out at the door. Called the cops on me. My life is rough. With that, Hugo's mom started sobbing. Son, they're bullying us. Hugo rushed to explain. Mom, it's a misunderstanding. Carrie thought y'all were beggars causing trouble. That's why security was called. Beggars? Troublemakers? Definitely a rich thing. We might not dress so nice, but we're not beggars. What's dirty or smelly about us? Can't even listen to explanations. Seeing his mom's aging face and rough hands, Hugo remembered the low times, his struggles in school, begging for jobs. Looking at Carrie, his eyes were fierce. Carrie felt wronged. How was she to know? It looked like beggars. They were Hugo's family. She started to explain but got cut off. Hugo's second aunt, all talk, fired off words like a machine gun. Oh my, forgotten your mother once you got a wife? Hugo, your mom had it tough raising you alone. Don't lose your conscience. Look who you married. All dolled up, trying to hook someone? At the time, your mother was a workhorse for you, ruining her back. You owe her respect. Relatives chimed in. She'd have remarried after your dad's death, but didn't for you. Cousin, now you're married. Bring your mom over to stay. Your wife should serve her. Even if she didn't serve tea. Your mom's not small-minded. With time, you'll be a family. Hugo's mom, playing it smart, sheltered her face. I wouldn't want to bother the newlyweds. Seeing Hugo well off makes me happy. Wouldn't burden them with caring for me. Mom, cousin-in-law is right. Come live with us. Carrie and I will care for you. Hugo's eyes reddened as he declared. Today, no doubt, Mom's moving into their new home. Carrie panicked, shaking Hugo's arm hard, not wanting to live with his mom. Hugo turned, took Carrie's hand, not giving her a choice. Carrie, I know you're a kind girl. Taking care of my mom wasn't easy. She's in your hands now. Carrie was biting her tongue. Still, that family would enter her new home. Not just that, Hugo's relatives found their way into Carrie's company. They deserved rewards for tending to Hugo's mom. The assistant's videos showed Hugo's family crowding the company hall, chatting away, blocking everything. Girl, you're blessed. You've got such a good son. Aunt Tu knew just what to say to make Hugo's mom happy. Hugo, you're honestly such a grateful kid. Out of our whole family, you're the most successful. Fourth uncle stroked his goatee beard, showing how proud he was. Cousin, you're amazing. Everyone says you're the real deal. Little cousin patted Hugo on the shoulder and leaned in for a toast. When my kid is born, he must learn from cousin Hugo. You're his guiding light, said the eldest cousin's wife, caressing her belly and looking at Hugo with admiration. Hugo got carried away, forgetting he was just a live-in son-in-law. He started bragging. Pointing at the company, he told tales of overcoming countless hurdles and creating success. Then, Hugo's second aunt got into purchasing, fourth uncle became a client manager, the third cousin went into after sales, and the eldest cousin's wife got into finance. The Carey family couldn't just watch their daughter's stuff fall into outsiders' hands. They brought in trusted folks and plunked them into the company. Suddenly, the whole company became a family affair. With this setup, many of the top talents I nurtured started handing in their resignation and looking elsewhere. Of course, most ended up in Susan's company, which thrilled her to no end. She kept praising me as her good luck charm. Susan's shareholders had to acknowledge my skills after I secured a few significant deals. Carrie's company was getting messy. Hugo's and Carrie's groups couldn't see eye to eye. They backstabbed and tripped each other up. A company that never lost in 3 years suddenly lost quite a bit in the 4th year. It nearly drove Carrie mad. pledging to kick everyone out of the company. Hugo went back to begging Carrie, but this time Carrie's parents disagreed with firing anyone. They had their own relatives deeply entrenched too. Perhaps Carrie realized she couldn't run the company without me, or maybe too many shares were now in Hugo's family's hands, making my 10% pivotal in their feud. Half a year after I left Carrie's company, Carrie tearfully wanted to meet me. I was annoyed though, just waking from a hard-fought night's sleep because of her call. A fair arm reached over as I was about to hang up and swiped my phone. Susan laid her fuzzy head on my chest. Her lazy voice cut through Carrie's whining. Why cry first thing in the morning? Mourning someone? Married but bothering other men? That's disgusting. Dumb as you are, can't you at least pretend you've got brains? Did you really think Dino wants to see you? Just hearing you is disgusting. Hearing Susan's voice, Carrie stopped crying and her voice turned distorted. Susan, why are you with Dino? What have you two done? Shameless. I held Susan close and promptly hung up. Don't listen to her, bad for the mood. I was blind before, but now I've got clear vision. Susan laughed brightly, cradling my face as her soft lips met mine. That night, Susan invited me to dinner. I picked a bouquet of budding roses at a flower shop, eagerly anticipating the date. Just as I was about to get into my car in the underground parking, someone appeared. She looked worn out. The pair of eyes I adored in college, once sparkling, were now dim. Seeing her again, I couldn't recall what I ever liked about her. Carrie snatched the roses from my hand, clinging to them. Dino, you always gave me roses. Said I was the only one worthy of them. Now you want to give them to someone else? Give them back. My voice was cold as I yanked the roses away. No, you want to give them to Susan? I won't let her have them if I can't. Carrie grabbed and trashed the roses, grinding them underfoot. I looked at the tattered flowers. This bouquet wouldn't do. I'd buy a new one for Susan. Women can be such a handful. If I slapped Carrie now, would people criticize me for hitting a woman? Carrie hooked her arm around mine. Dino, why are you like this? Okay, I messed up, but didn't you sleep with Susan? Doesn't that make us even? Even? Who do you think you are? Who I'm with is none of your business. And don't paint me as disgusting like you. Her logic baffled me. I'm disgusting? You call me that, but you never used to. It must be Susan. She's bad-mouthing me behind my back. How could you be with her? She's bad news. Enough, Carrie. Speak ill of Susan again, and I won't be nice. I jerked my hand free, wanting even my clothes changed. Filthy. Carrie's lips quivered, tear-welled eyes barely holding back. Dino, please come back. I was wrong. You don't know how hard it's been. I didn't expect Hugo's family to be so shameless. I laughed coldly. You're surprised his family's shameless? It's probably genetic. Hugo's mom wants to live with us, banging on my door at 5 a.m., insisting on saving money by firing our nanny. She cooks but adds peanuts, knowing I'm allergic, calling me delicate and saying I'd adjust. She broke my vase, the one from you I kept in the bedroom. I still have feelings for you. I shook my head, not interested in her family drama. But the worst is Hugo himself. He doesn't side with me, says his mom couldn't raise him easily, so I should be filial. Even made me give up our master bedroom for her. I won't let that pass. Honestly, hearing this drama was amusing given Carrie's spoiled nature. How she put up with such treatment was beyond me. Carrie continued, I refused, and Hugo's cousin called me heartless, threatening to expose me online. I'm at the end of my rope. Boo-hoo. Even though Carrie was sobbing, I remained unmoved. She desperately got closer, showing me her bruised left cheek. Dino, Hugo hit me. I just pushed his mom a bit, and he punched me. Can you believe it? Look at my face. You used to care for me so much. How can you stand to see this happening to me? I glanced at my watch, feeling irritated. If she kept blocking me like this, I'd be late. Susan was sitting there looking stunning, probably getting hit on by every guy around. I had to hurry over. Carrie noticed my frown and misread it as anger for her troubles. Dino, I knew you still cared. Come back with me. Just having you around means no one will mess with me. I hate what happened. Hugo took my last bit of money and ran. If it weren't for you, I might have been homeless. Carrie, you've forgotten you're married. Why should I, someone who has nothing to do with you, care about your problems? I shoved Carrie to the ground. Get out of my way. You're wasting my time. I need to see the woman I love. You dumped me. Why are you crying now? I opened the car door and gave her one last look. Don't show up again. You deserve everything you're going through. No, Dino, you can't do this. Don't go, wait. Now you want to talk about those shares from before. For the sake of what we had, will you give them back to me? Finally, the real issue. I got interested, closed the car door, crossed my arms, and looked at her. I want 10 times the market price. Carrie's face fell. Her pitiful look vanished, replaced by fury. You're just taking advantage. What did you expect, Carrie? That I'd just hand them over? Caught in the act, Carrie felt ashamed but still yelled defiantly. Those shares were my family's. Giving them back is only fair. I scoffed. You still see me as a fool who'll do whatever you say. Huh? If you won't pay, plenty of others will. I might even give them to Hugo for free. He won't say no. Carrie went pale, finally understanding the old Dino was gone. 5 times. 9 times. 6 times. She was nearly in tears. Her sobs only amused me, but Susan was waiting, and I had no time to deal with Carrie. Understand your situation. You're not in a position to negotiate. 8 times or I walk. In the end, Carrie bought the shares at my price. On my way to Susan, I picked up some vibrant red roses. She was thrilled when she saw them, and with all that money now, I was thrilled too. Finally, all my hard work at Carrie's company paid off. The next day, after wrapping up with a client, I was about to take a break when an old employee from Carrie's company who had switched over to mine burst into my office. Dino, you gotta check out this live stream. It's juicy. Curious, I turned on the stream from some platform. It was a hidden camera inside Carrie's office. Hugo was pushing Carrie, yelling, "How dare you hit me? You think I'm stupid? Sneaking off to see Dino, when you're married to me." Yes, I went to Dino. Why shouldn't I? You're useless, losing big deals left and right. I chuckled. One guy could really drink, and that was always the secret to any contract. I used to handle those situations for Carrie to keep her safe. Meanwhile, she'd be sleeping soundly. Dino, Dino. It's always Dino. How can you put me up against him? If he was so great, why'd you leave him? Hugo didn't hold back, blaming Carrie for poor management and calling her useless, while she pinned everything on him. Their spat escalated till their families almost clashed. Alarmed employees quickly called the cops. The incident hurt Carrie's company badly. Clients started backing out. Meanwhile, I reached out to the anonymous streamer, sent them $2,000. That footage came from my hired crew. He deserved a raise. Susan and I built our company up together. She even offered me half of it. I declined. On her birthday, I bought a diamond ring and proposed. Dino, from the moment I saw you, I knew you were special. Back then, you only had eyes for Carrie. I used to wonder what it'd be like if I was the one by your side. Today, I finally got what I wanted. Susan immediately bought the building across from Carrie's company and played a loop of my entire proposal. Right in her face. Ha! I want Carrie to regret her decision for a lifetime. Ha. She could have had the best but gave up a treasure for trash. I affectionately tapped her little nose, letting her mess around. Not long after, Carrie discovered that the main issue wasn't fighting Hugo's mom over company shares, but saving her deeply losing company. Carrie's company was on the brink of bankruptcy, and she gambled everything she had on a new product. Looking at the live updates from my assistant on my phone, I couldn't help but sigh. I haven't even gone all out, and they're already faltering. Did I overestimate Carrie? Or is she just unworthy of being my rival? After my thoughts, I told the department to create an identical product to Carrie's new one but with better packaging and a lower price. The next day, Susan handed me a mysterious folder. When I opened it, it turned out to be the core technology of Carrie's product. This stuff was probably with Carrie all the time, and despite my connections, I hadn't gotten it. Can you guess who gave it to me? Susan looked all smug, wanting praise, almost making me lose my mind. She grabbed my wandering hand and said, "It was Hugo." Hugo had picked up gambling and owed a fortune. Loan sharks were on his tail, threatening to break his hands if he didn't pay up. He didn't have the money, but if he didn't come through this month, well, I waived the documents. So, he managed to steal the product info from Carrie, intending to sell it for a good price in a pinch. "How much did you give him?" I didn't want to help him out too easily. He asked for a big amount, but I only gave him 10%. I said I needed to confirm the info first, and I'd give the rest next month. There won't be a next month. I rubbed my chin. Just need to expose it all, guide the narrative, and Carrie's company is done for. My product launched a week ahead of Carrie's. I heard that Carrie was devastated after seeing my product, hiding in her office all day. But soon, she didn't have time to hide. With tax evasion, poor product quality, and kickbacks, every department came knocking for a chat. Carrie's company collapsed, and Hugo immediately threw her the divorce papers. I shouldn't have come back after I left. You're still useless, a good for nothing. Sign now so you don't hold up my bright future. Carrie hadn't slept well in days, looking worn out. Seeing Hugo's disdain, she was on the verge of breaking down. I ditched Dino for you, taking all the heat. Now the company's bankrupt and you want to cut and run. How's that my fault? You never loved Dino. You just used him as a money machine. It was you who said Dino was too strong, making you feel insecure. As for the company, Hugo scoffed, "Hey, you're just incompetent, why blame me?" Carrie picked up the divorce papers, bit her lip, and said, "You want me to compensate you $1 billion? Are you worth that much? And where's my youth compensation? Sleeping with you for so long, Carrie, in the state you are now, even if Dino were around, he wouldn't want you. Serves me right, seriously. Dino treated me so well. How did I end up all wrapped up with you? You ditched me once, and I still didn't learn." Carrie looked at her chaotic company and the employees packing up to leave, nodding absent-mindedly, muttering to herself. Raising her head to look at Hugo, eyes bloodshot and frenzied, she pulled out her loans and maxed out credit cards. "Since you want a divorce, let's split the debt too." Finding he'd been played, Hugo's face twisted. "Carrie, you shameless witch. I only wanted you for your money. Thought I'd have you patting me on the back? You dared to stick the debt on me? I'll kill you today, you worthless trash." They took it to court, Carrie charging Hugo with stealing trade secrets, Hugo countering with Carrie's selfish company mortgaging, plus the divorce settlement. The big blow for Carrie was when her parents, hearing about her massive debt, publicly cut ties with her. Overnight, Carrie lost everything. Even worse than before. I heard the divorce case wasn't even over when Hugo disappeared. After calling the police, they found out Hugo had signed $300 million in gambling debts, assuming Carrie had money. Once it was clear Carrie's bankrupt, and Hugo couldn't pay, they just kidnapped him, shipping him off to northern Myanmar. The weather was perfect, and I was helping Susan get ready for her prenatal checkup at the hospital. Just as we stepped out of the office, someone rushed towards us. A bodyguard quickly stepped forward and stopped them. Carrie appeared, dressed in filthy clothes, reeking as if she hadn't bathed in ages. When she saw me, her pale face lit up with excitement, and she collapsed to her knees. "Dino, it's all my fault. You're the only one who's ever been good to me. Please, forgive me. Give me another chance, and I'll be a devoted wife, always by your side." She was sobbing, tears carving paths down her face. "I've realized you're the one I love. Let's make a fresh start together." Before I could respond, Susan chuckled, "Carrie, thanks for your generosity. If you hadn't let Dino go, I wouldn't have known how to get such a great man." Carrie seemed to forget easily. "Dino and I are married now," Susan continued, "and we're expecting. It's time to stop coveting what isn't yours." Carrie's face turned dangerously dark. Her eyes filled with hatred as she glanced at Susan's belly. I frowned and stepped in front of Carrie, blocking her view. "Carrie, making a mistake once should be lesson enough. Why should I join you in starting over? Dino, divorce her. Leave that woman and let's head to the registry office right now. I love you. We can have the wedding now. Trust me, I'll..." "Enough, Carrie. Stop dreaming in broad daylight. Don't waste my time." I signaled the bodyguard to pull Carrie away. Ignoring her desperate cries, I helped Susan into my Maybach. In the rearview mirror, Carrie grew smaller and smaller as she knelt on the ground.